I have already covered the divine symbolism in the 7th chapter of Daniel relating to the rise of the papacy, the stout and unique little horn with the man-like eyes and a mouth speaking great things that would make war with God's children, the saints. The 13th chapter of Revelation provides, also in symbol, further expansion of the subject. I have shown that in the 12th chapter of Revelation, the old Roman Empire is pictured as a great red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns, with crowns upon the heads. The 10 horns correspond with the 10 horns on Daniel's 4th beast, signifying the kingdoms that were to arise from the barbarian invasions of the empire. And the 7 heads signify 2 things. First, the 7 hills of Rome, as shown in Revelation chapter 17 verse 9. This calls for a mind with wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, on which the woman is seated. And secondly, the 7 kings, or forms of government, which she would experience, being kings, consuls, dictators, decemvirs, tribunes, emperors, and Gothic kings, as shown in the very next verse. They are also 7 kings, 5 of whom have fallen. One is, the other has not yet come. And when he does come, he must remain only a little while. The fact that John witnessed crowns on the heads of the dragon implies that the government of Rome, so represented, was then under control of the heads. In John's day, it was the 6th head, the imperial. At the instigation of Emperors Diocletian and Constantine, the seat of the Roman dragon was transferred to the Greek-speaking eastern part of the empire, where it continued over 1,000 years, amalgamating with Christianity in the process, and becoming the home of the Greek Orthodox Church. It is convenient to refer to the Constantinopolitan-centered empire as the Greco-Roman dragon, a power that has made war with the remnants of the seed of the woman, in upholding first Roman, then Greek Orthodox Christianity, and persecuting protesters against the apostasy. As spoken about in Revelation chapter 12 verse 17. Then the dragon became furious with the woman, and went off to make war on the rest of her offspring, on those who keep the commandments of God, and hold to the testimony of Jesus. And he stood on the sand of the sea. The same persecuting characteristics are a feature of the sea beast that is next revealed to John. In the 13th chapter of Revelation, John records, "And I saw a beast coming up out of the sea, having 10 horns and 7 heads, and on his horns 10 diadems, and upon his heads, name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his throne, and great authority. And I saw one of his heads, as though it had been smitten unto death. And his death stroke was healed. And the whole earth wondered after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon, because he gave his authority unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? And who is able to war with him? And there was given to him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And there was given to him authority to continue forth 2 months. Notice here that this beast of the sea is a zoological conglomerate of leopard, bear and lion, the animal symbols for Greece, Medo-Persia and Babylon, as introduced in Daniel chapter 7. Thus logically denoting a 4th power, to whom they bequeathed their religious and cultural heritages. Rome was that power, as has been amply demonstrated in preceding videos, and as is symbolized by the 10 horns and 7 heads. But Rome, under what constitution? Several items, stated in the last passage, leave little doubt. 1. The crowns are on the horns, no longer on the heads, signifying that it is after the barbarian invasions. 2. The dragon gives him authority. That is, the Constantinopolitan Empire confers authority on him. 3. He has a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, exactly the same as the papal mouth of the little horn of Daniel's 4th beast. 4. He is given power for 42 months, that is 1260 days, which is parallel to the 1260 years, or times and times, and half a time, of warfare against the saints, permitted to the little horn. The only conclusion that can be drawn is that in the beast of the sea, we are face to face with Rome under its papal constitution, that being the Imperial Church, which arose out of the countries of the Mediterranean seaboard of the empire. This conclusion is supported by further scriptural testimony. The beast is worshipped on account of its recovery from an apparently mortal wound delivered to one of its heads, a feature that finds amazing historical fulfillment. The sixth imperial head in Rome was delivered a mortal blow by the barbarians, who then established the Gothic head there. The removal of Gothic rule by Justinian's generals appeared to terminate Rome's role as a center of government once and for all, the city itself being totally deserted for a time, and Ravenna becoming the center of administration for the emperor's exarch, or lieutenant. Ravenna had, in fact, been the residence of the last Western emperors and of the Gothic kings, but the traditional institutions, including the Senate, continued in Rome itself. But from this political death state, the healed sixth head arose again, under the policies of the popes, as an imperial church. Deliel Burns, the historian, describes the metamorphosis from one form of empire to another in the following passage. The unity of the Christian churches had been, for a century after Constantine, dependent on the unity of the Roman Empire. Both Prudentius and Leo I had written that the world was united under Roman rule as a preparation for Christianity. But the Roman Empire in the Latin West was dissolved into separate barbarian kingdoms, and the unity of the Catholic Church survived. It was inevitable, therefore, that the unity of the Latin churches should preserve many of the features of the imperial unity on which it had been originally based. But now the church itself had become the only basis of unity in a world divided by barbarian kings. And in order to make that unity visible, the church itself became an empire. It was centralized at the end of the 8th century, under a monarchy like that of the Caesars, when the head of the church of the city of Rome took over the power and authority of the emperor in that city. But the Pope had already acquired at the end of the 8th century, in the eyes of the Roman clergy, the status of an emperor of the Western world. And in the 9th century, Wilfrid Strabo, in AD 842 wrote, "As the race of the Romans is said to have held the monarchy of the whole world, so the supreme pontiff, holding the place of Saint Peter in the Roman See, is raised to the highest position in the church. The Roman Pope, therefore, is compared with the Augusti and the Caesars, and the patriarchs with the patricii, who came first after the Caesars in the empire." Thus by the middle of the 9th century, the Pope as the head of the Roman Church had become the supreme ruler of all Latin Christendom in the imperial church. History also records the astonishment of the world at the resurrection of the eternal city to a place again as mistress amongst the nations. The new European kingdoms found admiration for the imperial pontiff, who appeared resplendent in the borrowed robes of the old empire. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to get notifications of new videos. Like, share and comment below.